And good afternoon, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk, and it is our news series, and that from someone who knows. And let's explain, since this series is new, what this is about. As journalists, we put a lot of work into interviews that can be minutes and minutes and long, as sometimes they are from experts in a field like we had last week in the Amy Mahalovic case. Sometimes it's a family member that went through something very emotional, and unfortunately we only get to use short segments when we go on the air on Channel 19, but we think that you should be able to see entire interviews. It gives you more context, lets you into sort of our world behind the camera and everything we see and do and edit basically in its raw form. Today, from someone who knows, is a little bit different. We have to show you two perspectives of an incident, and it's an incident that ends with this. Take a look.
Get out the car now! Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out!
They asked me to
Put your hands in the car now!
This is a situation that occurred Sunday evening in Canton, and it was a gender reveal. And that green souped up vehicle you saw there is owned by Andrew Soliday. He's the man who had his hands up and was for a short time taken into custody by police. Now let's go back a little bit. Soliday was there for a gender reveal for a family friend. And he was going to use his, I believe it's a Charger, Dodge Challenger. He was going to use his vehicle as the means of revealing that it was a boy. And by doing a burnout in the street, and more specifically, it's on Lawrence Road Northeast near 10th in Canton, he was going to burn out his tires, and a color smoke comes out, and that tells you what baby the gender is. And in fact, we have video of that actual gender reveal. And in the first part of this video, as Soliday is revving up his engines and the tires start to spin, I want you to take a look at the intersection in the upper right-hand corner. You will see a Canton police officer just happen to roll through that intersection just as Soliday is starting the gender reveal, and that's what kicks off this entire situation. So in the first part of this video, make sure you pay attention to the upper right.
Yep.
quick.
Oh, son of a bitch!
And there comes that officer after hearing and seeing this burnout, doubling back around to figure out what's going on. And now, why we have to explain why we're doing this on From Someone Who Knows is we're about to show you two more pieces of video. One is an interview with Soliday himself, who feels that he should not have had the guns pulled on him. When police finally stopped him, he was in someone's yard. After he does that burnout, he goes up and drives into someone's grass or a vacant lot. So you'll see the interview with Soliday, who contests this was just a gender reveal and that he should have been allowed to do this, and that it may have actually been police brutality when he was arrested. Now, take a listen to his side of things. As someone who thinks they know.
To come do a gender reveal for some friends. I pulled up, was here 2 minutes. They put some bags under my car, so you spin the tires and it makes blue smoke. As soon as I started spinning my tires, the Canton police rolled by. I seen them. I was doing a gender reveal for some people for life coming into this world, so I didn't want to ruin that moment for them. So I did finish doing what I was doing, but I stopped, I turned around, and I came back. As I was coming back through this yard, turning around for them, they jumped the curb and pulled nose to nose with me. That's when they jumped out with their guns out. Was cussing, get out the car, search me, cuff me up, put me in the cruiser. And then they talked to these folks, and then they just came back and told me you can go, no charges.
I mean, but that was a good thing.
I understand why they came back, but we were in a controlled environment. This is their neighborhood. This is their street. They're the ones that invited me over here. So we weren't just out here raising hell for the community or anything. We're doing a gender reveal. So, I mean, I understand why they stopped. They saw the smoke. But once they pulled up and my hands are out the window and the grandmother and mother and everyone and me is telling them it's a gender reveal, to run up on me with guns out and treat me like that was just crazy to me.
I guess their stance is it's against the law, though.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But, I mean, what about our rights, too, though? You can't violate our rights to, I guess, what?
You felt it was overboard to have guns drawn?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, I have my hands out the window, and I'm yelling, hey, it's a gender reveal. There's blue smoke in the air. There's a whole family with little kids standing out here. And you're out here with guns cussing at me and making me get out of my car.
You think it could have been handled much differently?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. My hands are out the window, and I'm telling him it's a gender reveal. He could have said, okay, well, keep your hands where I can see them, turn the vehicle off, step out, talk to me. There was no reason to have them. You could have had tasers out at a minimum. Was no threat. There was little kids standing, grandmothers out here. What was the threat?
I was going to ask you, I guess, are you worried that this kind of puts a target on you?
Oh, I know it does, for sure. I mean, look at my car. That already is a target in the city because there's a lot of younger folks riding around doing dumb stuff, you know what I mean? So they're already on my car when they see me. But I'm 40 years old. I got 2 kids. My oldest is 23, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here doing that. Like I said, I come for a gender reveal, for a moment to make memories for these people, you know what I mean? And then the police pull up and do that. And now that's all they're going to think about. They're not going to think about what color smoke they saw. They're going to think about the red and blue lights they seen, and me getting guns drawn on me and stuff, you know? So, like I said, I mean, I understand why they stopped. The way that they handled the situation was completely against policy. I feel like it was against my rights. I feel like it was immoral for their moment, you know what I mean? So, and then afterwards, once it was all done and they uncuffed me, they were making jokes about it. Oh, now you got some good footage for your videos for Facebook and this and that. But yeah, that's real good footage, having guns pulled on me for my kids to see too and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and for these kids to see. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah, for sure.
So, but I already know they're going to harass me. They've already been following me, watching me. Like, I damn near think they want to ride in my car the way they stare at me now.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
but it's whatever. I ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
I'll be around.
That was the interview from Andrew Soliday, and we're going to put that under the title of From Someone Who Thinks He Knows. Just a couple of the quotes that he had. We were in a controlled environment. Not sure that a city street is a controlled environment, but it is, according to Mr. Soliday. His next quote, we weren't out here raising hell. Oh, I don't know. Some would beg to differ when they see this video. I don't know about that neighbor across the street, the neighbor right in front that has to listen to this, the neighbors down the street, the neighbor. I don't know what your definition of raising hell is, but that's up for you to interpret. As you see a car making smoke at 7 o'clock at night on a Sunday evening. Now we're going to take a break before we play you the sound from someone who actually knows, and that's going to be the police officer in this case. So give us just a quick minute. And welcome back from our commercial break. For those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about the controversial gender reveal that happened this past weekend down in Canton. You had a family who tried to say that they were in a controlled environment and that they weren't out raising hell when they did this kind of gender reveal. Watch the Canton police cruiser go right by right there just as they were starting this burnout in the city street, which I don't have to remind anyone is illegal. But now you're going to hear, and the reason we do this segment is called From Someone Who Knows. Whether it's somebody who's an expert in a system, whether it's somebody who had something traumatic happen in their life, and they know exactly what it's like to go through a situation. You're about to hear from the officers who arrived on scene, who tried to explain to this family that what they were doing was illegal. And why? Well, because the officers know, but apparently the family, as you're about to see, they know better. Take a look.
Gender reveal. My son's having his first kid, and
Okay.
that's all it was.
I'm not. Okay.
You know, and I understand from your perspective, it looked like some,
It looked like jackassery. I'm not gonna lie.
right, and it's not. That's not
Well,
what it was. That's why the blue powder is, and you see I'm covered in it.
I see the blue powder. It's.
And it's his first kid, and we were trying to do it, because we got little kids up there that love that kind of stuff, and
Okay.
we were going to do it at a park, but we didn't want to.
There's nowhere legal to do it.
Right.
Okay.
Let me talk to these folks too.
Yeah, they're with us.
Okay. Folks, how you guys doing? Who's the son that just has a baby on the way?
Right? Me. So it's a good gender
Okay.
reveal
Yes,
of
yes.
us coming through with our life.
Did you want a boy?
I wanted a girl,
Okay.
but I got a boy and I'm glad
It shows
that I
you
get
what could
it.
happen.
And he was just doing me a favor.
We didn't know. Now,
Because he has a better.
granted, you're still not supposed to be doing burnouts in the street. Obviously, we didn't know this for a gender reveal. Regardless, you're still not supposed to do burnouts in the street, though. All right. He's being cool. Just give us 1 second, all right? I'm not trying to ruin your gender reveal. We're not trying to do that.
Man, y'all was not playing, right? Y'all come out guns blazing.
Well, because I'm right here. Well, because I'm right here. I got a car doing burnouts, and I don't know what the hell's going on. That's all it is.
I understand that, but
It's Canton. Worse things have happened.
With people that are doing burnouts and running from us. All right?
Yeah.
That's why we don't know what's going on. That's why we're getting out with guns blazing.
And now the weather's breaking. This or that is more of a common occurrence. Now the weather's breaking. We're doing this. We're getting these calls every day. People typically are running from us. Again, I'm not saying he was going to, and he's being cooperative. And obviously we had no idea this was a gender reveal. But I'm driving down. Well, no, it's not. No one's going to kill him. It's just nobody knows what's going on.
yeah,
Do you know how to go back on the video to show the live?
yeah, it's just. That was a little crazy, man.
Well, again, I don't know what's going on. Again, it's nothing against him. It's just.
I know, but if there was a gun brandished, then I can understand, what's going on.
I'm coming through smoking a bad part of town.
And there you had it from the officers who know that it's illegal. You heard the family say, we thought we were going to do it in a park. Yeah, guess what? It's illegal there too. The family taking issue with the officers drawing their guns, but from the officers' perspective, as they tried to explain to the family that this happens too often in Canton. Let's be honest, it happens too often all over Northeast Ohio, where when officers show up to these burnout parties, to these drag race situations, to these street takeovers, they are faced with cars that are going to either ram police cars, and they don't know just exactly what the officer said. They didn't know what they were dealing with. The family kept saying it was a gender reveal, it was a gender reveal. How is an officer supposed to know that when he sees a kid blatantly doing a burnout just as an officer blows by him? It was a gender reveal. It was a gender reveal. It was, I don't care how many times you say it, it's still illegal. And the person who knew that was the officer. The people who thought they knew that was the family. And that's how we do it here on From Someone Who Knows. Excuse me, a little bit of a different topic this week, but that's where we're going to leave it. You've seen the video, you've seen the extended interviews, and you can make up your own mind. If we have any other breaking news, it'll be here on our digital platforms. Otherwise, look for our 3.5 hours of news to begin at 3 o'clock on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good day.